Hi, today we're actually going to look at solving a word problem or extracting information from a word problem, writing an equation to solve problems. So the word problem we have today is Laura tells Jesse to pick a number between 1 and 10. Add 3 to your number and then multiply the sum by 5. Next she says, now take the number and subtract 7 from it and tell me what your new number is. Jesse says 23. So this is our word problem. The first step, or the first question that they ask us is to write an expression that records the operation that Jesse used. So what we need to do from this is go back into our word problem that we had initially read and pull out all the information that we had used. So when we have a word problem, we have an unknown variable, we need to pick something for it. And since it's pretty standard, we're going to pick x. Whenever you have a variable, you can't just say x. We don't know what x means. X could mean anything. So we need to define it. So in this problem, x equals the number that Jesse picked. So this is his original number. Okay, so now that we have a variable, we know that he picked a number. So we got x. Let's keep reading. So the number had to be between 1 and 10. It had to be between 1 and 10. The first thing is add 3 to your number. We'll stop there, and we'll add 3. It's good to take things step by step so you make sure that you don't miss anything. And multiply the sum by 5. The word sum in here is very important because if we just wrote times 5, when you look at order of operations, you're doing 5 times 3 plus x. That's not what the problem is asking us to do. We're going to get rid of that. So when they look at sum, we're going to use our friends with parentheses. Then multiply them by 5. Alright, so we're good to go to the next step. Next she says, now to take this number that we have and subtract 7 from it. So we got this number, we'll subtract 7 from it. And tell me what your new number is. So now we have the equation that Jesse used to get the new number. So taking a look back on our problem, you know Jesse's new number was 23. Alright, so now we have the operation. So now, next step, what was Jesse's original number? So for this, we're going to use our equation that we set up to work backwards. So we know the new number Jesse got is 23. So we're at 23 at the end of our equation. So now all we need to do is, since we did the hard part. We pulled the information out of the word problem and made an equation for ourselves. Now we just need to solve for x. So we're just going to do simple distribution here. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 3, no, is plus, is 15. Minus 7 equals 22. First thing we can do is we can add 7 to both sides. Or actually, no, before we do that, we can make it even simpler. 15 minus 7 is 8. And then, of course, we just drop everything down still. How about now we'll subtract 8. Basically, all we're trying to do is isolate x on one side so that we can get x equal to something. So then all these are going to go down to 0. 23 minus 8 is 15. And that'll be equal to that x. Well, let's clean this up a little bit. It looks kind of messy. So now we'll go 5x equal to 15. We divide both sides by 5. Because division undoes multiplication. We divide both sides by 5. And over here, we're going to get x equals 3. Okay, so here we know that x equals 3. There's a reason we defined x, so we know what that means. So we know x is the number Jesse picked, so we know Jesse picked 3. So the original number he picked, it checks it's between 1 and 10, so that's good. So let's check this and make sure that we're on the right track and make sure we don't make any errors. So what we're going to do to check it is we're going to put 3 back into our equation. clean all this up a little bit. Alright, so we'll put in 3 here, so we have 5 times 3 plus 3 minus 7 equals 23. Okay, so let's check. We have 6 times 5, we're going to get equals 30, minus 7 equals 23. Now when we go 30 minus 7, we get 23 equals 23. So we know our equation checks out. Now let's take a step back, take a look at it. We know what Jesse picked, and we know the equation he used. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at another person. So when you and your friend are playing games, it's pretty rare that one of you goes and the other one's like, okay, we're done. So now it's Laura's turn. And she was given the same directions. She was told to pick a number between 1 and 10, check. You're going to add 3 to your number, multiply the sum by 5, subtract 7 from that number, and then tell me what you get. So Laura decides, or she says, my final result was 108. Jesse stops, thinks for a second, says, hey, hang on a second, you cheated. We want to know what he means when he says that. So let's take a look. The only thing that we know is that her result was 108. We don't know why she cheated, but the best thing we can do is use our equation that we already built and figure out what her original number was. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, just like we did with Jesse, we took his new number and set it equal to the operations that he used. So we're going to pull 108 out of there. We're going to take the exact same steps we did to solve for x for Jesse. So, of course, we're going to distribute the 5 times x, which will give us 5x. 5 times 3 will be 15. How do we know what symbol to put in between there? Take a look here, you know that we have a plus sign, so we're going to use a plus sign. Minus 7 equals 108. Alright, next step, we can combine like terms. So 15 minus 7, again, we have 8. Plus 5x equals 108. And what undoes addition will be subtraction. So we will subtract 8, take that away. That's 8. Give a 0 here, we're going to come over here. Equals 5x. Again, it's kind of messy with the 0 there, but we had to show our work. So let's come down here and clean it up. So we have 5x is equal to 100. And then divide by 5. And x over here, we go 100 divided by 5, and we get 20. Alright, so let's take a look here. Go back to the question, see what they were asking us. Jesse said you cheated, and we want to know what he meant by that. So we know, let's go back to the original problem and see what we did know, I guess. So they're supposed to pick a number between 1 and 10. Yep, we can stop right there and we know what Jesse means. 20. Doesn't quite fall between 1 and 10 last time I checked. So we know that Laura didn't quote unquote follow the rules, but anyway, or anyhow, we could still find what her number was. Because with this equation, with a one variable equation, x will always, we can always find x if we know what their final number was. So the biggest thing with this, or the biggest idea or takeaway that we need to take from this is when we're given a word problem, the hardest part is figuring out what they want us to do and pulling the information from the word problem to solve any questions that they ask us. Because everything after we got the equation was simple. All we had to do is we had to follow what they did and get it down for ourselves. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys learned helpful ways to extract information from a word problem and to solve other problems after asking. And I look forward to making another video.